In 2009, Mel Robbins was struggling. She was facing near bankruptcy, a failing marriage, and a daily fight with the snooze button. Then, one night, she watched a televised rocket launch. Seeing the final 5-second countdown gave her an idea. Counting backward, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, allowed her to move before her brain could talk her out of it. This worked because procrastination is a biological trap, a survival mechanism that misidentifies difficult tasks as threats and kills our intentions. Robbins developed this into the 5-second rule, a neurological hack designed to bypass the brain's defense systems and force action. To stop the cycle, we have to understand this biological trap first. Until we do, we will keep waiting for a feeling of motivation that our physiology is actively programmed to suppress. Scientists now treat procrastination as an emotion regulation problem. When we avoid a task, our brain is simply trying to escape the temporary discomfort that task creates. The process begins with a threat scan. The moment you intend to start something difficult, the amygdala, the brain's fear center, flags the task as a risk. This triggers a physical sensation of dread known as a somatic marker, biasing you toward avoidance before you've even had a conscious thought. To achieve instant mood repair, the brain prioritizes relief and avoids the task. This escape provides a short-term reward, but it quickly leads to a guilt cycle that makes the task feel even more threatening the next time you face it. Because this is an involuntary emotional reflex driven by the amygdala, sheer willpower often fails. You are trying to use logic to fight an automated survival response. This leaves a narrow 5-second window for action. A goal intention forms in the prefrontal cortex, your center for planning and logic, but the amygdala moves almost instantly to veto that intention with excuses. Counting backward 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is a form of metacognition. It is a deliberate strategy that shifts where your brain activity is concentrated. Unlike counting forward, which is a reflexive habit, counting backward requires active cognitive effort. This effort keeps the prefrontal cortex engaged, occupying the brain so it cannot generate the rationalizations that normally follow the amygdala's alarm. When you reach 1, you hit a socially conditioned trigger to move. This expectation builds a bridge from thought to movement, allowing you to act before the amygdala finishes its objection. The countdown provides a mechanical override of our default neurological wiring, interrupting the brain's hesitation response at the exact moment it starts. To use this in daily life, you start the moment you notice an impulse to act on a goal. If you wait for motivation to build, the impulse usually dies within those first 5 seconds. Step 2. Count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This direction is specific because counting up has no endpoint and provides no momentum toward action. Step 3 requires physical movement the instant you reach 1. Stand up, open the laptop, or pick up the phone. You must change your physical position to interrupt the brain's hesitation loop. Finally, commit to a micro-action. Instead of facing the whole task, commit to writing 1 sentence or putting on your gym shoes. Shrinking the scope lowers the brain's resistance threshold, making the start feel safe. These steps create a bridge across the initial emotional resistance. By the time you finish the countdown, you have transitioned from deliberation into physical momentum. However, the countdown is only a launch vehicle. It handles the hardest part, starting, but it doesn't provide a way to stay focused once you're off the ground. To maintain that momentum, you can use the launch and orbit method. This pairs the countdown with James Clear's 2-minute rule. Once you launch, you commit to the task for just 2 minutes. This burn phase is too short to trigger serious resistance, but it's long enough for the emotional dread of the task to begin dropping. To stay in orbit, you use implementation intentions, pre-decided if-then plans. For example, if I feel the urge to check my phone, then I will write 2 more bullet points first. This removes the need for willpower when distractions inevitably arrive. By combining a neurological override with these micro-commitments, you create a system that automates follow-through instead of fighting your own biology. This changes how we view courage. It isn't about grand gestures. It's the everyday push to act while you are still feeling the pull of hesitation. We often wait for a feeling of readiness that never comes, but progress is made by separating what you feel from the actions you take. Identify one specific task you have been avoiding. The moment this video ends, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take the first physical step toward finishing it. No matter the circumstances, you are always just 5 seconds away from moving out of deliberation and into the physical action required to reach your goals.